morning, everybody. Welcome to another session of business research methods. So, in our previous class, we discussed about the data collection methods. There we have seen two types of data collection methods. First one was secondary data collection methods, and second one was primary data collection methods. In first one, that is secondary data collection methods, we have seen two types of secondary data sources. First one was internal data sources and second one was external data sources. Then we moved towards the second data collection method, that is primary data collection method. In primary data collection methods, we have seen observation method, its characteristics, advantages and disadvantages. And then we discussed about the second type of primary data collection method, that was interview method. There we have seen how interview method is used, what are its characteristics, what are its merits and what are its demerits. Now today we will discuss questionnaire method. Questionnaire method is an important primary data collection method which is widely used across the world for collecting the fresh data. Let us begin this questionnaire method. In this method, a sample is selected from population, information is gathered from questionnaire form consists of number of questions which people are expected to answer. So to use this questionnaire method, we must know what is the population, who are our target audience. Define the target population, then select a sample from that population. Again, selecting a sample from that population is a art as well as a technique. We need to follow some sampling techniques and calculating the sample size. Then choose a suitable sample from the population. Then construct or design a structured or unstructured questionnaire, depends upon your requirement. A questionnaire form which is consisting of number of questions. The questions which are framed to gather information, and we use those questionnaire for surveying and we expect the people to answer for those questions. These questionnaires can be sent either by post or an enumerator can visit the people and get the form filled in. So using these questionnaires, you can post it to the respondents. If you have addresses with you, as well as if your respondents are scattered across the country, across the state, across the district, and if you are unable to meet them face to face, then you can go for post or mail media to send your questionnaire. Or you can appoint an enumerator who can visit the people houses or offices and get the form filled in. If a questionnaire is sent by post, a letter of request should accompany it. If you are using the post or a mail for surveying, then you need to draft a letter, a separate letter requesting for filling the form, as well as mentioning the objective of doing this survey. So this is called questionnaire method. So the questionnaire method can be used for several reasons. And the media for using the questionnaire are, you can use post, you can use telephone, you can use electronic online survey, or you can go personally to the respondents and collect the information. So it means by the means of postal, telephone, internet, face to face, we can collect the information from the respondents. Fine. Let us see what are the advantages and disadvantages of using postal surveys. If you are using the post as a media for surveying using a questionnaire, then your strengths will be wide coverage. You can reach each and every corner of the country by sending a questionnaire to the respondents, where you can enjoy the wide coverage. Low cost. It incurs low cost to send the questionnaires to the respondents and get response from them. No interviewer bias, as it will be done through post. So there is no question of interviewer there, and there are no biases allowed. Respondents convenience. So in interview, they should answer immediately or within 5 or 10 minutes. But in case of postal survey, the respondents, according to their convenience, they can fill the form either in morning, afternoon, or evening. Whenever they feel convenient and comfort, then they can answer for it. Lack of embarrassment. So during interview, if the question is sensitive one, then they may feel embarrassed. So in case of postal survey, there is no question of embracing because they will be reading it personally. Avoids traveling costs. No need of traveling from one place to another place. So that reduces your traveling costs. So these are the strengths of your postal surveys. And this postal survey is having some weaknesses also. Low response rate. Most of the times we send the mail to the respondents, but in return they may not respond to it because of their busy schedule or because of not interested. They may not respond to you. Lack of control of respondents. As the questionnaire is sent to them, there are no enumerator or the person who can help the respondent to understand the question and answer according to the requirement. So there may be a deviations takes place in case of postal surveys. Limited scope for open-ended questions. Absolutely. You cannot ask open-ended questions as the respondents may go away from the subject. That's what you are forced to have only close-ended questions. Limited to short questionnaires. You cannot draft a 5-page or a 10-page questionnaire to get answer because the respondent may not show their interest to fill it. Hardly 1 or 2 pages are advised for this kind of a survey. Long response time. Receiving our questionnaire, filling it, and sending it back will take time. So it is a long response time. Biased response. As I told you that they may misinterpret the question and answer in their own way. There are chances of biased response in case of postal surveys. So these are the strengths and weaknesses of postal surveys. Let's go to the telephone surveys. Telephone surveys are the means of low cost and quick kind of a media where you can contact the respondents and ask the questions and get the response from them. Let us see what are the strengths and weaknesses of this telephone survey. Strengths of this telephone survey are it saves the time, absolutely, because there is no need of mailing it and waiting for their response. Directly you dial the number and call them. If they pick, then they will answer. Over. Hardly 5 to 10 minutes it takes. Higher response rate. Yeah, you may get higher response rate, but due to some telemarketing and other advertising calls, nowadays people are responding less to the telephonic surveys. Greater control over respondents than the postal surveys. Yeah, you have a command over the respondents. You can help them in understanding the question. You can help them in reminding the previous experiences of the respondents, or you can quote some examples. You can visualize the respondents about the question or about the situation. Sample less likely to be biased. Yeah, because you are choosing those telephone numbers of respondents who are eligible for this survey. So there are less bias you will find in this kind of a sample. Cost limited to time spent on phone. Absolutely, as I told you, nowadays you are getting free calls as well as you have a free talk time. So cost is very limited. Saves cost of traveling. Again, no need of traveling from one place to another place. So it reduces, or there is no cost of traveling. Simply sitting in the home or office or anywhere, You can call anybody who are in abroad or maybe in other state and contact them, get the information. It allows probing, absolutely. In-depth response you can get, and you can go for proper investigation here, and you can dig the respondent's mind and get the information what you desire. So these are the strengths of telephonic survey. Let us see what are the weaknesses of this telephone survey. Questions may be more limited than with postal surveys. Absolutely. In postal surveys, you can ask any number of questions, but in telephonic survey, you can't ask more questions as the respondents may disconnect the call in between. That's what. If you take prior appointment from the respondents, then you have to inform them how many questions you will ask them, and if they agree for those questions, then only you can go for survey. Otherwise, it's difficult to frame more and more number of questions in the survey. Data may not be available. Sometimes what happens, if you call a person and ask him about his returns, his 5 years back tax returns, that data may not be available with them, uh, and they may not respond. Respondent has a little time to consider questions. Yeah, they have to listen your question, understand your question, and respond to it. That's what. They will get very little time to consider your questions. Intrusion into privacy. Yeah, most of the times it occurs when a respondent is in home and spending time with their family. They may feel it as it's an intrusion into their privacy. Can be time consuming. Yeah, sometimes the respondent may not respond to your call, they may not receive your calls, so you need to call again and again them, and let until and unless they receive your call and talk, you have to put your efforts, so it can be a time consuming. So these are the strengths and weaknesses of telephone survey. Let us go for electronic online surveys. Nowadays internet is playing a vital role in our lives. Most of us are dependent on internet for various activities. So these surveys can be conducted using electronic media. Drafting a questionnaire in a Word file, sending it to the respondents and asking them to fill it and send it back, one way. Second way is designing a Google form, which is available in the Google. You can go to Google form and design various kind of questions like simple answer, numeric answers, multiple choice, checklist, drop down, multiple choice grid, checkbox grids. These kind of questions you can include in your questionnaire, and you can conduct a survey. The strengths of these electronic online surveys are economical. Yeah, just one click from your computer, you can send the emails to thousands of people. Devoid of boundary limitations. There is no boundary limitation. If it is a mail or a telephonic, there may be restriction to enter into foreign country. But in case of electronic online surveys, you can send the emails to any person who is residing in any country, any continent. Versatile and quick. That's what. So in mail survey, there are limited choices for you where you are drafting the questions either handwritten or typed. Fine. But in online, you have several options for you to use the pictorial representation. You can use the tables, you can use the charts, you can provide them instructions. So lot of encouragement is there in electronic online surveys. And then it is also having some weaknesses. Incomplete directory of names. Sometimes while taking the email IDs, we make some mistakes. So that leads to incomplete directory of names. So it may be a weakness for the survey doing person. Unrepresentative sample. So we gather the email IDs of people. Sometimes we may not consider their representativeness to the population. It happens. Brevity of email responses can be a problem. Absolutely. You may not get the response from the respondents, and getting all those emails and checking one by one and gathering them, feeding them into the computer will become a problem for you. Little control over sample. Yeah, you will not have high control over the sample, as the respondents may download the questionnaire or click on the Google link that you send to them and start entering the data. So there are less control over the sample. So these are the strengths and weaknesses of electronic online surveys. So friends, this is all about the questionnaire method. In this session, we discussed about what is questionnaire, why it is used, how it is used, and then some medias used for surveys, that is postal survey, telephone survey, electronic survey, and also advantages and disadvantages of each of them. So now we'll move towards the next concept called schedules. Schedules are the another form of primary data collection methods. What are these schedules? A schedule is generally filled by the research worker or an enumerator who can interpret the questions when necessary. Yeah, schedules are generally filled by the research worker, means the person who is doing research, or on behalf of him or her, an enumerator will be appointed who can interpret the questions to the respondents and get the information from them. Then what is the difference between a questionnaire and a schedule? Questionnaire is generally sent through mail to, to informants to be answered as specified in a covering letter, but otherwise without further assistance from the sender. In case of questionnaire, you will draft a questionnaire and send it to the respondents for answering it using a specified covering letter, but you will not assist the respondents for answering it. Whereas a schedule is a generally filled by research worker or an enumerator who can interpret the questions when necessary. So the major difference between questionnaire and schedule is, in schedule, a research worker or the enumerator themselves will fill the form by administering the questionnaire and interviewing the respondents using the questionnaire. So he will interpret some questions when respondent face problem in answering those questions. Data collection is cheap and economical as the money is spent in preparation of questionnaire and in mailing the same to the respondents. Yeah, as the collection of data requires to send the questionnaire either through mail or through post or through electronic, telephone. So it is a cheap and economical one for the sender. Whereas in schedule, it is more expensive as money is spent on enumerators and in imparting trainings to them. Money is also spent in preparing schedules. Yeah, because you have to personally go to the respondents and collect the information. That's what it requires. Money for traveling and also training for the enumerators on behalf of the researcher who collects the information is called enumerator. For him, we have to train how to do the survey, and money is also spent in preparing schedules. Yeah, preparing the schedules, taking the photocopies of schedules requires money. So it includes cost. Then questionnaire. Non-response is usually high as many people do not respond and many return the questionnaire without answering all questions. Bias due to non-response often remains indeterminate. Yeah. In case of questionnaire, as you are using different medias to reach the respondents, there are chances that non-response you may get. The rate of non-response is high in case of questionnaire because they may return it without answering, or they may return it answering only few questions. They may return it incomplete, and there may be a bias due to non-response often remains undetermined. Yeah, if they don't answer, if they don't respond to a question, then that will become a difficulty for researcher for using it for further process. In case of schedule, non-response is very low. So there is no question of non-response because this is filled by enumerator or the research worker who are able to get answers to all questions. Yeah, if a respondent expresses or her inability to answer the question, then the research worker or enumerator will help them in understanding the question, interpret the question, convince the respondents, and get the answer from them. But even in this, there remains the danger of interviewer bias and cheating. If the enumerator or the interviewer is having bias, or if he answers on behalf of respondents, then that will become a danger for the research work. Questionnaire. It is not clear that who replies. Yeah, we send to one person called XYZ, either email or through postal, then we expect the response from them. There are chances the respondent's father, mother, son, daughter, friend, relative, anybody may answer. We don't know who will answer. So that's what it become a question mark for the researcher, that whether the information gathered from the questionnaire is of the respondent or of anybody else. But here in case of schedule, identity of respondent is not known. Again, here also there are chances of not getting the identity of respondent, but most of the times when we go for surveying or on behalf of us, enumerator go for survey, they will go to that person who is a part of sample. Questionnaire. The questionnaire method is likely to be very slow since many respondents do not return the questionnaire. Yeah, people often may not respond quickly because of their busy schedule, because of their work. We may get delay in receiving the questionnaires. But in schedules, information is collected well in time as they are filled by enumerators, because we go personally there, face to face interview will be there, and we mark the responses. So well in time we get the response. Questionnaire. No personal contact is possible in case of questionnaire, as the questionnaires are sent to respondents by post, who also in return returns by the same by the by same by post. So there is no personal contact between the researcher and the respondent in case of questionnaire, as the researcher send the questions either through postal or email. They will never know the respondents and their face and their uh, background. But here in case of schedule, direct personal contact is established, as the researcher personally goes to the respondents. They can meet each other, get informed about each other. And then questionnaire. This method can be used when only respondents are literate and cooperative. Absolutely. If your respondents are literate, can read, understand the questions, and having a cooperative kind of a behavior, then you can go for questionnaire. Otherwise, if the respondents are illiterate and non-cooperative, then there is no use of using questionnaire. Here in schedule, the information can be gathered even the respondents happen to be illiterate. Yeah, for example, if you drafted a questionnaire in English and you went to a person who don't know English, for them you can translate the questions into Kannada and get the response from them, so that you can avoid non-response rate than questionnaire. Wider and more representative distribution of sample is possible. Yeah, as you can reach anywhere using mail and email, there is a wide and more representative distribution of sample. Whereas schedule, there remains the difficulty in sending enumerators over a relatively wider area. So hardly you can send an enumerator throughout the state, but again it is difficult for you to send them across the country as well as to the abroad. So these are the some differences between questionnaire and schedule. In general, we have a myth that questionnaire and schedules are same, but in reality questionnaires are different, schedules are different. Usually we use the questionnaire when we are doing a survey either through mail or email. Schedules usually used when we go for face to face interview and personally meet the respondents. So this is all about questionnaire and schedules. So today we will close here and let us glance what we discussed today. So we started with the questionnaire method, understood what is questionnaire method and how it is developed and how it is conducted. So some of the medias used for questionnaire method were postal surveys, telephone surveys, electronic online surveys, and we also discussed about their strengths and weaknesses. Then we went to schedules, we understood what is schedule, and then we differentiated questionnaire and schedule and also understood the difference between questionnaire and schedule. So tomorrow we will discuss consumer panels. Thank you. Thank you one and all.